Challenging.
Awesome and a really great journey.
Fantastic and absolutely amazing.
Very enriching.
Challenging.
Supportive.
Equipping.
Practical.
Biblical.
Equipping. It's down to earth and really easy to follow, but it's also very inspiring.
When we were considering running the Growing Leaders course, we realised that there would be a large investment in time and energy, but the payback was that we were able to multiply ministry and multiply our capacity to do the mission of Jesus in the community around us.
It gives us a format to use where we can identify and recruit new people to the course, can take them through a process, and then we can look at how we're involving them in church life thereafter.
You just get to realise your own skills and your own qualities that you can bring into the church and just help to lead the church through outreach into the communities. So it's been fantastic.
It's enabled me to look at myself, identify what my weaknesses are, my strengths.
You know, it's a great opportunity to start thinking about what you might want to be involved in.
It's given me the confidence to be a better leader in the workplace and to really put some of those concepts into practice.
We're now on the fourth Growing Leaders course which we've run, which I think demonstrates that we think that it is so effective and so key to growing the church's ministry and equipping people to do what Jesus wants them to do. And I think we're going to keep running it for years to come. The thing that I really love about Growing Leaders is the way in which it is biblically based, and it helps people to grow in a Jesus-centered model of leadership, and then to discern God's call on their lives, and then to live that out in whatever situations they happen to be.
But the great thing with Growing Leaders is you've got the threefold areas of exploration. So you've got character, competence and calling. So that really emphasises the character for the first few months. We look really at that.
I think the opportunity to think through leadership, not just in terms of how you lead, but actually the character of a leader, and making sure that our relationship with God is right. I think I found that emphasis really helpful.
What that does is it negates the kind of need for stars, if you like, in terms of leadership, and actually teaches that leadership is a calling, that it's to do with humility, it's to do with service, and it's to do with working as part of a wider team and a wider vision. The other teaching point that we found helpful is there are myths about leadership that we help to dispel, and there's great teaching on that, you know, you don't have to be a certain way to be a leader.
I think what struck me was that you didn't have to be an upfront leader. There are many leaders that are very behind the scenes, which is what I would categorise myself as being, leading teams that perhaps are not speaking at the front but are just as important.
I suppose one of the barriers to people seeing themselves as leaders would be around competency. You know, we always think I'm not good enough at this specifically.
It struck me how many people here came in thinking that they weren't really a leader but have been invited anyway and have developed their leadership skills, and that includes me either. So it's been really good.
One of the key features is the ability the course has to draw in all ages of people, those from older teens all the way up through to people who are retired, people who are gifted and experienced leaders, and those who are emerging potential leaders. People from all types of background, all walks of life.
You know, I've been a Christian all my life, but it's been good to reevaluate quite a lot of things, and it's provided the opportunity to do that.
We've found the material really easy to use. We don't hold it as our master in that we've used it flexibly, but we value the timings and the ideas and the chance to be creative with the material and sometimes around the materials.
With a pen, write on what represents...
Leaders aren't grown overnight, and so the course runs over 10 months. It also works on a number of different levels, so there are sessions when we meet together. The participants have the opportunity to meet with a mentor. There is a prayer base, somebody's praying for each of them, and there are projects that they work through. And the different levels help different people in different ways. And also the course recognises that different people learn in different ways, and each person is helped in a way that's appropriate to them over this length of time to grow as a leader.
Every participant will be assigned a mentor to walk through the 10-month period that the course runs for, to walk with them through that journey.
I loved having a mentor. I thought it was a great part of the course, probably one of the most significant parts of the course for me, mainly because you could talk through what you're doing with someone with perhaps a little bit more experience, someone who's walked that way before, and and to get some valuable wisdom on what I'm doing and where I'm heading.
To be able to unpack what I've learned or what I've heard during the sessions here, and on a one-to-one basis be able to say, okay, how does that work for me? And that's been invaluable, really good.
One of the funny things to me has been seeing people who have had secular leadership training come and say that the quality of this course exceeds what they've had to pay thousands of pounds in their work environments to receive.
And that it's basically meeting three...
We've been running Growing Leaders at Riverside for, this is our second year now, and the fruit from that has been seeing people's confidence in their leadership ability grow and seeing their capacity to lead increase as well. So people had the confidence to step into new things.
I think I'm much more aware of my own personal style of leadership, so I'm much more aware of what my strengths and my weaknesses are.
People have come to a deeper sort of discipleship. They've come to understand God's grace in their lives, and that's really exciting.
I think about how iron sharpens iron, and I feel like as if I'm being sharpened, and it's just given me a greater awareness about myself and who I am in Christ and how I fit into the church and how I become more proactive in supporting others.
The key benefit for the whole church has been that we've got more leaders. We've got leaders leading groups that they didn't lead before. We've got people who were leading groups but leading with much more confidence or able to take on larger challenges, and just the whole value of growing others and developing other people is cascading throughout the church.
I think one of the ways that the Growing Leaders course has helped me most in my role as a worship director is in bringing the best out of my team and leading them in a way that best suits them.
I suppose often the challenge as a pastor is that you meet with people regularly, you see that spark of potential, that leadership potential in someone, but it's how to actually develop that. And Growing Leaders has given us a wonderful way of walking with people through from that initial spark right the way through to actually taking on a leadership role within church life or outside of church life in the community as well.
Definitely not just about your life at church. What you learn on here is certain things you can take out and use outside, which is how it's supposed to be, that your life it's following Jesus, and no matter whether you work or church, you're actually using it.
What we found has been that people have become better disciples of Jesus. They've become more effective leaders in whatever area they happen to be leading, and they've been more passionate about evangelism and serving the poor and the ministry and the mission of the church. It's been great to see that happen.
Doing the course has enabled me to do the things that I'm doing today that I never would have thought I could have done a couple of years ago.